is The Last Word.
All right, good evening everyone and welcome to The Last Word. We do this every Tuesday, coming to you from Baraza Media Lab. Now, this evening we want to have one of the most urgent conversations that this country should have. Kenyan roads are the most dangerous roads in the world. It's hard to avoid the conclusion that the authorities prefer them that way. By the end of this discussion, we'll get to that point. But that's not the whole story. There's also human behavior. Someone said, quip, that Kenyans drive the way they vote. Essentially, just careless. Well, we'll get to that as well. Or is our situation on the road an act of God? Essentially, we have nothing to do. It just happens to all of us. Where do you place your bet in this conversation tonight? We're asking a very simple question. Are the road crashes design failures or human behavior element is involved in it? Please get involved with us on The Last Word. I don't do this alone. I have a panel of my colleagues here. Zaha Indimuli, you've heard from her earlier on, our Gen Z, and our complete dictionary, thesaurus, if you like, of everything that we want to discuss. She'll be doing that for us. We also have Sharon Momani, who's a journalist of over 15 years. She's been everywhere telling the most important story from a first-person point of view. We also have Eric Latif. You know him of asking very uncomfortable questions, and have some of that this evening. My name is James Smart. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to The Last Word. We do this to be honest with data, insight, and finally, the truth. We always start with the thing that is making us feel a bit of a type of a way the whole week. Zaha, what is the thing that has been keeping you alive? What's your hot button?
Well, there's so many things that can keep you awake in Nairobi, but I'll start from the easy one. It is very cold. Well, apart from that, my hot button of the week happens to be the fact that there's impeachment in the air. But before we get so far, let's have a breath of this impeachment in Kericho County. Well, there's so many things to see there. Mind you, that is a county assembly where fracas has erupted over the second impeachment in 10 months of Governor Eric Mutai. And for me, I'm very curious to understand rather why this is a hot button for me is because, first of all, it looks like a playing ground of anger and so many of our honorables all over the place. But importantly, why is the governor being impeached for the second time? There is cases of gross misconduct. He is at odds with everybody, from his deputy to the speaker, name it, call it, county executives. He has bullying issues. The executive and the legislature are having a fight at that county. But importantly, I want us to draw to the power of MCAs and how important it might be for us as Kenyans to look at what our county assemblies do. I think it is high time that we utilize our county assemblies not only to just impeach, like we have seen with Governor Mutai, with Governor Guyo, with Governor Kawera. This is also a space for us to look at how to credibly check in and balance our credibility within governance. The policies we pass in our counties, the budget approvals, the corruption, how our counties operate lies at the hands of our MCAs. And I'm thinking if they are absolutely this active and effective in impeaching the governor, they should be absolutely active and effective at making sure that the county is run to its best format. That is my hot button of the day. I am Zaha Indimuli.
Yeah, I think one of the problem of the design flaws the Constitution has is this idea that for you to be a governor, you need to have a degree of sorts. And for you to be an MCA, you didn't need any sort of qualification. So I'm supposed to oversight this person, presumably, with better qualifications. I think that's how it should work. So that's a design flaw. There's a problem right there. Yeah? We either decide no one has qualifications, or we all have qualifications. There is obviously a design flaw.
I think there's too much emphasis on the paper qualification. The most basic qualification should be, are you able to convince your people to vote for you? that you actually understand the issues that the people want, you know? And if that's the case, then that's it.
I agree, but on some point you need some level of surface level knowledge and the ability to craft some laws, to plan a budget. I mean, there's stuff that is needed here. It's not just, a person who's passed through school. They have to have gone to school.
I think I even have an entirely different problem, because I feel like most of the time I hear a lot about the most activity in county assemblies has had to do with impeachment, rather than, passing laws that are helping people. There are very specific things that happen regionally, both to do with production, with economic development, human welfare, but that it comes to this, so I feel like we're always just doing politics even down to that level, but it's the design, I guess, of also how we do politics.
Yes, what has been disturbing you, Sharon?
My hot button sounds like a scene straight from a sci-fi movie, only it is not. So a few weeks ago, a group of tech researchers published a report called AI 2027. And what this report does is that it paints a very vivid picture of what they say, this group of researchers, is what the world is going to look like, not so far from now, but about 5 to 10 years coming. And they're calling this a state of tech utopia where, and I mean, this is a conversation that has been ongoing alongside the development of the AI technology across the globe, of what then becomes the role of humanity, what is the kind of tasks that humans will be left to do in this place where technology, the AI technology is really advancing, and right now we are heading to the AGI, which is the artificial general intelligence, the kind of intelligence where it will be able to do technically everything that a human can do, if not better. And so this report paints a picture, and the BBC 2 weeks ago produced a story which then visualized this report. And in this story, you see this tech utopia world that the world has become, like 10 years from now. And you're seeing people just chilling around, being served by robots. We have a completely global workforce of robots. And says, there are some positives of what this world would bring. First, AI technology would mean running the world basically on AI, technology, agriculture, production, so that the system will be based on distribution rather than profits. And so therefore there will be abundance. There will be a reduction of inequality for humanity. There will be cures for most of the diseases that at this point we don't have cures yet. So because everything is running on this super intelligence level. But then the danger becomes, at what point are you able to control this technology if you've gotten to create this superhuman that then can also create its own advancements? And they say in this report that they're using a form of AI called Agent 3 that then decides to develop its own successor of Agent 4. But anyway, let's listen to one voice from Silicon Valley, Gary Marcus, who is an author of the book Taming Silicon Valley, on his thoughts about what this report says.
The scenario there is not impossible, but extremely unlikely to happen soon. The beauty of that document is that it makes it very vivid, which provokes people's thinking, and that's a good thing. I wouldn't take it seriously as like this is a likely outcome or anything like that.
All right, so he says it's not impossible, that scenario. And I think my takeout from this report is, whilst I don't think there's intention to stop the development of AI, there's every reason to be very intentional about where we are going with this as humanity, such that we know for sure there are values that come alongside this, values that preserve humanity, values that, we all will feel safe, even as we continue with these developments, the race towards superintelligence in the world. That's my hot button.
Funny enough,
Terminator.
As a product of the wireless generation, I feel like AI, the age of AI is coming in, and we're finding a world that is still from that point where TV turned from gray to colors, and the whole world was probably waiting for our world collapse. But I feel like we're given an opportunity to have not necessarily utopias, because I don't believe in utopias, not on earth. I feel like we're given an opportunity whereby we can be able to curate, at least on a value-based, ethical method, something that could actually be very beneficial to humanity. There's so many human errors that we can prioritize AI. Like even what we're discussing today, literally, I think AI can be utilized in spaces where it has proven beyond human record that we can solve. And because at the same time, I still think I agree with the fact that it's not necessarily very impossible that AI can formulate its own super artificial brain, because we give it so many information.
And decide to wipe out the human.
Yeah, literally it lands on the moon again. You know, we started all this civilization. It's possible.
Yeah. So
Guys, sleep easy.
Sci-fi. Sci-fi is in life.
CBC.
No need to be scared. No need to be afraid.
Okay.
We will be okay. My hot button tonight is basically some point of confusion. And I'm confused by Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga says NGCDF should be abolished. Now, whereas I completely agree with him, I'm confused because is Raila saying this as a matter of principle, or is this political doublespeak? I'll explain why, but first, listen to what he said yesterday when he was speaking to a joint parliamentary group of ODM and UDA MPs.
So constituency is not a devolved unit. And members of parliament themselves should not be involved in development, because there's supposed to be oversighting. There's supposed to be oversighting. If you yourself being involved in construction of roads, building of schools, building hospitals, who is going to oversight you? Who is oversighting you? So, Mr. President, I hold very clearly that these MPs know that they should not have any business in trying to implement projects in their constituency. Implementation of projects should be left to the county government.
Now, this is why I'm confused. There is presently before Parliament a constitutional amendment bill. It has already passed the National Assembly. It's before Senate. It was co-sponsored by an ODM and a UDA MP. It is one of the laws that are implementing the NADCO report. What does the NADCO report say? It says let's constitutionally create NGCDF, NGAF, and a new fund called the Senate Oversight Fund. When the NADCO report was presented to Raila Odinga in March last year, this is what he said. As we have said before, this document is not perfect, but it is a good start. If fully implemented, it offers an opportunity for peace and reforms that could put this country on a path of prolonged stability and equity in the years ahead. Our position is that the report, the NADCO report, including the various legislative proposals attendant to it, should be implemented without any alterations. He said, this document has enemies from reactionary forces across the political divide, both inside and outside Parliament. It requires vigilance. So, one of the legislative proposals is that one that's currently before Parliament, that is to amend the Constitution and create CDF as a constitutional fund. Then in comes Raila Odinga, who said, let's implement this without even changing anything, to come and say, no, NGCDF should not be created. So where does Raila stand? Is Raila speaking for political expediency, or does he actually mean it as a matter of principle that this NGCDF should die? Is this political doublespeak, or is it not? Raila Odinga owes the country a clear explanation. Where exactly do you stand, Mr. Odinga? My name is Eric Latif. That's my hot button for tonight.
Is it strange that Raila does the same thing every time? Because I think this is also politically his go-to method. But I think also, if we have this CDF fund genuinely within Parliament, I think I agree with him on the first round. Like, who oversights you if you're the one doing development? Also, if you're the one doing bursaries, so what is the point of the ministry anyway? But at the same time, the double speak.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think if you take a long view, and this would be unpopular for me because I'm not used to saying this. I think Raila has been consistent to the extent that he prefers the parliamentary system of governance. And all through his political career, I think he was actually arm-twisted to support the new constitution in 2010 when there was no other option other than the presidential system of parliament. So if you follow him carefully, he's always attempted to bring this parliamentary system of governance into being. So that's why the prime minister position is always exciting and enticing to him. So perhaps he's just being right and wrong at the same time. We have a presidential system and that's what it is.
Stop
Absolutely.
Do you want us to implement NADCO? The MOU between ODM and UDA, point number 1 is full implementation of NADCO, which creates NGCDF as a constitutional fund. Raila says, let's fully implement NADCO, but let's not have NGCDF. Choose one. Choose your battles.
Maybe he's just unaware that that is part of the point of NADCO, that we are supporting the NGCDF.
Great.
What's your hot button?
Mine will be fairly easy because it's something on the news. The president has announced to the country that Parliament is a den of thieves. There's corruption going on, right? He calls it Sokohuru. Fantastic. I think the president is doing a fantastic job to tell the country the worst kept secret that we all know. So I believe intelligence now it's working, that the president of late is getting very good information about the ongoings in Parliament. There's a few problems here though, that what's happening in Parliament appears to be what EACC does with fighting corruption. So when there's all this noise about, the corruption levels of this country are on ridiculous levels, the EACC does a setup and start arresting policemen, traffic policemen on the road, getting 50 shillings and harassing them. Very good shot for TV, by the way, but hardly addresses the point. Now, what the policemen on the road do, getting 50 shillings and whatnot, is obviously wrong. It is obviously illegal, and they should be arrested. But that is not the point. Our problem with corruption is systemic. It actually comes from the top. Parliament, everyone knows, has been co-opted. Guess by who? The executive. It's a worst-kept secret. So I really wonder what this new charade is all about. Is it fighting corruption? Is it making sure that finally the members of Parliament really toe the line? Or is the executive fighting a different fight here? I am struggling to see the point of this new fight against corruption. But if it all ends up with arresting a few MPs, making sure that maybe the House leadership loses its position, or whatever it is, then, well, it's good. I suppose anything that fights corruption really works for all of us.
I mean, I wouldn't discredit the entire gesture for the simple reason that you have stated. We have all these agencies and we're not seeing the results out of their mandates of whatever different ways they're supposed to be fighting corruption. So perhaps the first mandate is to find out exactly why these agencies are not working. They could, if there's a representative from EACC, they could recommend that we don't need EACC, essentially rendering themselves jobless. But anyway, that there's always a point to revisit, and that we can't judge it until it happens. That's what I think.
I feel like this country has an obsession with committees and task forces. For me, I'd want to ask also, can the oversight authorities, are they able to actually do their job anyway? Or they need another committee of their own to committee them? There's so many committees. When there was a femicide crisis in this country, we had a GBV committee. What else I've had so many committees, more than I've had reports from the oversight actual authorities. So it's such a big obsession. I'm sure even if we have a road problem like we're discussing today, by tomorrow, road committee.
I just hope they are finite in their timelines that they've been given, and I'll be curious to see the kind of recommendations that come. I am a hopeful individual inherently.
Let's find others. We're not alone. We have a live audience. Let's start with the lady. Please introduce yourself. What has been bothering you this week?
Thank you very much. My name is Leonia Roslyn, the chairperson of Young Captains. what has been bothering me so much is the road accidents. And today, as I was traveling to this station, there's a driver who was driving me, and I decided to ask them, what is the greatest cause of road accidents? One of them is overspeeding. The second one is reckless driving. The third one is drivers driving under the influence of alcohol. And the fourth one, he highlighted for the long distance drivers, it is fatigue. They keep on driving for long distances, they are tired, and they are still driving. They are normal human beings. They are prone to cause accidents, and it is the largest factor causing our road accidents. And I asked this driver, what do you think, who do you think is responsible for this driver's behavior? And the driver said that the largest or the responsible person is the police, the traffic police officers. And I continued to ask, why do you think so? And the other thing that came up was corruption. I just had to keep quiet, because if I asked him who between you and the police officer is corrupt, probably he would not have answered. And as I was thinking about the word corruption, I realized that the president yesterday made a sentiment on what smart he's saying. He accused the whole parliament, the whole legislative arm of government to be corrupt. So how do I come here on TV to tell a police officer to stop taking bribe of 50 shillings when the president in broad daylight said that the MPs are asking up to a tune of amount of 150 million? So if one governor can issue the parliament and the Senate 150 million, which audacity will I have as a young person to tell a police officer to stop collecting 50 shillings? It looks like a very minimum amount. But a reminder to the member of parliament,
you've really gone into a conversation. Yes. I would like to hold this. I can see you're ready to go. Can you just hold it there? You're overspeeding. Let's get the gentleman there. We'll come back to you. Yes.
Thank you very much. My name is Mwenda Manyara from Meru County. I'm the Secretary General to the Meru Youth Federation. And the hot button is what has happened yesterday in Kisumu White House Resort, the killing of the former Siaya County Assembly clerk, Felix Isaac. Yeah. And what has been lingering in my mind is that every day we see news that police have shot someone, maybe a missed bullet, someone did their job well. And I've been wondering, like, every day, not long time ago, we had the issue of the Ojwang. We had people who have been killed in Mandamano. And yet we see every day, every week, we must have a missed bullet that takes someone's soul out. That we cannot well understand that what's the real job of the police. Because like the case of Felix was that there was people who are like wanted maybe to do away with this property, and he was calling for protection from the police. But as you see, it was the casualty. At the end of the day, he was killed maybe by a police officer among the other police who are looking to protect his property from the people who are trying to steal from him. So I feel that the police officers at some time don't understand their role. Like, if you are to protect people, you have given a chance to protect people, you have been given a chance to protect their property, and at the end of the day, you take someone's life. Then why are you here? Why are you the police? Why are you given the bullet? Why are you here the first time? So at that point, I understand that maybe we can say we give the policemen the sticks, so that at the end of the day, they have no chance to shoot someone.
That's a good one. That's a very good. That's a good place to stop it. Yes. Give policemen sticks. So they can't at all. Yeah, so they don't kill anyone. They're called batons, but that's good. All right, Eric.
So let's get to our topic of tonight, and we are having a conversation around road crashes. We have seen an increase in the number of road crashes just in the last couple of weeks. But statistics have shown us that many people die every year out of road crashes. Actually, if we just go with the statistics for last year, 2024, about 13 Kenyans died every day on our roads. Most of these, 71% of road deaths in Nairobi alone, are of pedestrians. Now, we have seen accidents happen, and the question that we're asking ourselves tonight, so what's to blame? Is it the design of our roads, or is it the behavior of road users? And I'd like to engage the audience here before we then get into it. What do you think? You're holding the cards. So let's say green is design of our roads, and red is road users. So let's vote. What do you think is a bigger cause of road crashes in Kenya? Is it road design or user behavior? Green for road design, red for user behavior. Let's go. Raise your card high. Vote.
Everyone has a vote. Please raise them high. Be proud of your vote.
So many are saying it is the behavior of the road users. And road users here, do we mean drivers or do we mean all road users?
Pedestrians as well, crossing the road anyhowly.
Yeah. We can pass on the mic to somebody. And let's hear. Just pass on the mic to the person, the gentleman next to you. What did you vote?
I voted yes, green.
Road design.
So yes.
Road design.
Yeah.
Explain.
I'll give an example of Waiyaki Way. All the way from Nairobi to Gitaru, we don't have any crossing areas. No footbridge, no nothing. Where are the citizens of Kenya, the people who live in Gitaru, people who live in Kangemi, supposed to cross? Yes, the road might be on construction, but where are people supposed to cross from? We don't have designated areas for people to use while they are creating the permanent ones.
That's a good point. Somebody on the other side?
Thank you.
Your name, please.
My name is George Mugo Simba. I'm from Kajiado County, Kajiado North constituency. And thank you for the opportunity. I didn't vote, right? But
you abstained?
I abstained, but from this perspective. You mentioned design, and then you mentioned human behavior. And if I may introduce another term, pressure. Just pressure of drivers. I worked for a courier company for a few years ago, and we used to work 14 hours a day. We start work at 6 a.m. and we finish at around 9 a.m. I would get home and my hands are vibrating, all right? So I sat down and thought, what, of course, preparing for the show, what other thing would we be able to look at that would make sense out of this? And I got three things. First, there's a spiritual perspective, then there's an administrative perspective, and then there is a central perspective. Of course, probably as the show goes on, we'll be able to delve much into that. But if you zoom out those three, you are left with one, pressure. If you reduce the pressure of a Kenyan driver, they will not cause those accidents. Thank you.
Okay. So it's human.
In many ways, it's just inhuman. But let's allow it, the three things. Sharon.
Right. I think there was one gentleman who was hot with the point.
My name is Edu the Chef. I'm a biker, I'm a racer. And
a chef.
Yes, and a chef. And a chef, yes, as the name goes. So I also represent a group called Slick Superbike Series, who organize races for superbikes. And those are some of the things that we actually do to teach motorcyclists on how to be safe also on the road. As much as we are doing events on a controlled environment, these are the same bikes that we use on our roads today. And I voted green because the road design also matters, because we have incidents. Being a responder of bikers, I respond to accidents where you get a pothole actually caused the accident for the biker. Some of them are actually bumps. Those are not even speed bumps. Those are speed hills or something. You hit it, you are down. So some of the contractors that are being given this job to do, they don't put the quality tarmac for actually to handle these tires that we are using. For cars also, it's the same thing. We've had accidents where cars are being involved because of bumps. So those are some of the things also should be considered when building roads. I was in Zambia the other day. There are no speed bumps. There are only rumbles, but less accidents than Kenya. So I think other than just having the behavior for someone to know that you need to slow down, then again, those are some of the things that actually cause. You do a rumble, it's like 3 bumps. It's not even a rumble strip. So that instead of putting you aware of a bump that's coming, you find that those rumbles are actually the first ones to make you cause an accident. So,
well, fascinating. We also have Dr. Andrew Kiplagat, the Director of Road Safety, NTSA. You've seen how people have voted. I'd like to get your view, the view of NTSA. Is it a road design issue, or we're just bad drivers? We should all just stop riding motorbikes and driving cars and possibly just walk to work every day.
So thank you. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here and to engage on this very important subject. And it was interesting to see the perspectives from the audience here. And if you saw it, I think majority of the audience here were red, which indicated human behavior, but we also had green, meaning then that they see an issue with design. And I agree with them. I agree that these are some of the factors actually that are responsible for the road crashes that we are having. And besides that, there are other factors, and that's why I would agree with the gentleman, the driver here, that it's human, but human because of fatigue, that they work for long hours. We have issues of vehicle, which is part of the engineering, because they also play a role, the vehicles. We also have our systems for what do you call, post-crash. What happens after post-crash? Because it's possible to save a life. So the question is, do we have a versatile system that would come to the rescue of this? So it's actually bigger. It goes beyond the human and infrastructure. And I think this gives us an opportunity to interrogate all that, so that then we can be able to converge at some point as to where do we go. Because again, just like it's different factors or different reasons for causing crashes, then it also means that interventions are as varied. Because what do we do to humans? What do we do to infrastructure? What do we do to vehicles? What do we do to post-crash? So that then, cumulatively, in what we call the safe systems approach, all those gains in each of those parameters can contribute in helping our country bring down fatalities.
Could I just push back on this thing? So first we had the first comment there about Wayaki Way. You know, that was the first comment. Doesn't have, you know, a footbridge or footpath. You know, we know that it's something that's been there 5 or so odd years when we built, you know, the dual carriage. We've heard from Chef and the Superbiker that in Zambia they've just put, you know, the rumbles, and their statistics on road accidents is much lower. Okay, so we have come to this acceptance as a people that it's okay every year for 3,000 Kenyans or so to die on road accidents, road crashes. All right, calling it in its right name. So the question is, what is the authorities' view on actually calling into all these confluence of factors and saying, okay, fine, we have converged to what we all know, that these bumps that we keep putting everywhere really cause accidents, all right? We've converged to the view that our road designs have a problem, okay? We don't seem to get that. We seem to agree that it's okay, perhaps it's an act of God that, you know, people can just die.
So first, I think it is to correct that it's not true that we have come to accept. If I tell you the kind of pressure that government is putting on its agencies to work on reducing this, you possibly may not have an idea, because it's a problem. We say one life lost is one too many, and what we are seeing is not acceptable at all, at least from the point of, from government. And therefore, what is going on as we speak is to try everything in concerted effort to bring down this. And this touches infrastructure, because there is quite a lot going on to deal with infrastructure. There is a lot going on to deal with human behavior. There is a lot going on to deal with, motor vehicles. There is a lot going on to deal with post-crash. Why? Because it's unacceptable. No Kenyan should lose their life in the road, because we say it's preventable. It's actually a crash. It's not accident, because it can actually be prevented. That's why when we do investigations as to causes, then it's something that you'll be told that it's a vehicle that lost its brakes. You'll be told that it's a roundabout whose design was not done well. You'll be told it's a question of somebody who was drunk while driving. You'll be told it's somebody who was too tired, like we've been told here, and all these are preventable.
Sir, I have a question. And I think James might have already announced, I'm usually the one to just set the house on fire. There's some things that are being raised here that citizens don't do. We're talking about, I'm a victim of actually that. Mombasa Road has countable bridges. We have schools the entire way. Where do kids cross? I'm looking at the fact that when we're asking about where are the footbridges, where are pedestrians walking, where are riders riding from, those are things that are actually being paid for through even the road levy, right? So I feel like there's some things that we can 100% hold accountability to human behavior and things that citizens do. But a majority of this, to be very honest, sir, it happens at the brink of your seat. It's when the engineer is taking up the task to architecture the roads. They do a bad job by default. It's when people say we need roads that have better tarmac in our estates, and then lorries come to the estates and destroy the roads, and then it's a whole crisis. It's when there's no spaces between the roads where even borders, pedestrians, everybody's on the road. So I feel like, from your seat, what I'm asking, the things that matter, or rather that are on your seat, which are structural, that citizens cannot necessarily do, and this pressure you're mentioning that the government is doing that we might not know, please let us know about it.
I agree with you that, these are issues. These are real issues facing us in society. And having a bigger perspective, for example, like when the expressway was being done, it was done on a space that there was a road, and it meant that there are interruptions that will change, and these interruptions would cause certain things that include even maybe road crashes that caused loss of lives. And
but you allowed it, and there's no street lights.
Not allowing it, because if you look at even when they are building a road, there are some things that are being done to help reduce the risks, even as we achieve the bigger goal, because we also need that road, like what we are enjoying in the expressway. So in the process of doing that, there are contingency measures that are put in place, but once complete, then it's supposed now to bring the bigger societal goal. So what I mean here is that in the process of bringing positive things into society, sometimes it involves disruptions, but then they put in place certain short-term measures to be able to address that. And we've seen in road constructions, because there are quite a lot of inconveniences and all that, which sometimes pose as a risk. But overall, there are quite a lot of guidelines that do this. Like, for example, if we are talking about pumps, I think there was a comparison of Zambia and our country here, and a lot. It has evolved also. Because as we speak, there is a guideline on the size of pumps, for example, and that's why in some places previously you would find that there were huge pumps, but now it has been standardized in a way. Why? Because of the implication it has on safety. So what I want to say then is that the interventions in terms of infrastructure are happening, and I can give a good example. Like most recently, we had a serious issue in Kisumu, in Coptic, something that has been there for quite a while. And the issue was largely to do with design. because maybe it was, they never got it correctly, the right, when they're building the road. But when it was discovered that's the issue, the government is actually on the ground trying to correct
Citizens
that.
demolished
Right now,
yes,
after the accident, after citizens demolished it.
Yes, we would say, but then the point is, because you need also to understand something that for quite a long while, nothing was going on because of resources. Because of resources, and wait,
we'll take a break. I know Spot will take us to a break.
Yeah.
And the people, like you said, it appeared like in the room a majority of the people were saying it's human behavior. But here, first of all, we are dealing with the design again. And this other expanse of the human behavior, because I'm actually interested to hear which human behavior is this we're talking about. People are talking about drink driving and so on and so forth, but it's not.
All right, you're watching The Last Words. We're taking a short break. When we come back, we want to unpack on these two things, two questions: the road design and the human behavior. Or there's a third element, if you like. Pressure. Don't go too far. Pressure. You're watching NTV. Don't go too far.
This is The Last Word. This is The Last Word.
All right, good evening and welcome to The Last Word. As we have been discussing, been with us, we've been discussing this confluence of issues that causing road crashes, right? And we've made the point that there's obviously human error and human behavior. That's a big component of the road crashes, but also there's the other question of the road design. And we were just trying to nibble on these questions. And the doctor was making the point before you were rudely interrupted with a break.
And if I can tie into that, because we were actually at the point of talking about the roundabout, the Coptic Church Road roundabout. And one of the questions that I've been thinking about is the design process for our road system, because prudently we would have a whole, and maybe you can educate us about how that happens, right from the stage of planning, you know, feasibility and knowing what goes where, roundabouts where, bumps where, looking at the entirety of the whole system with a vision to, you know, have it safe to people, for people and for use. And that there's a process right from the feasibility stage to the design stage to the pre-opening of these roads to continuously looking at how they are working. Is this something that NTSA does?
No, it's not what NTSA does, because NTSA's mandate is largely coordination of road safety. And as I said in the beginning, there are many players in this coordination. One, of course, would be road building, the infrastructure. There is the issue of motor vehicles. There is the issue of enforcement and all that. So I may not be in a position to give you that detailed account because I'm not an engineer. And but then the whole idea is, of course, safety is an important parameter. Whatever that is being done is to ensure that there is safe movement of people and goods, and we have less of incidences of crashes. So NTSA is not capacitated to do engineering
We'll direct that question to Ken. Let me get some audience views before we come back, because we're still stuck at this question of road design or human errors, and specifically what human error we're talking about here, right? Please, your name?
My name is George Kariuki. I'm from Kajiado North County, specifically around Rongai area, Kiserian. And I don't think that question is fair. In Kenya, it's a crime scene. You know, I was looking at a video. I'm an avid consumer of content. I was looking at a video posted by Nairobi biker, Brayo, and it was an accident in Rongai when you descend from Catholic University. And the accident, I don't know who to blame, because the guy who was driving the bus was doing the overtaking, and the roads don't have sideways. We don't have sideways. We don't have places to descend the cars. And it's the same thing when you drop to Kiserian. It's like an island. It's it's like an island. The road is an island. The car can't even come off. So I don't think the question is fair. I was voting for road users, but that thought came to me, and I think it's a
you didn't think the driver had options either way to overtake
Yes.
All right. That's the view. Anyone else? The microphone to this side. Please hand over the microphone to at your back. Yes. Yes, please stand. Tell us your name and...
Yes, thank you. I'm DK Chalo from Kitui Central, my youth leader. And let me just state that if you look at the budget that was presented to the National Assembly, we find that the Roads and Infrastructure Department, the Ministry of Roads, got a whopping 250 something, I think 57 billion. Again, you'd find that after I buy 1 liter of fuel, around 50% goes to the ministry. Only a slight percentage is the actual cost of the fuel. But all that money is not used as it is supposed to be used. For example, at our county in Kitui, you'll find there is a bridge there in Zau in Mwingi that has killed many people. We can remember that incident. Again, another example of the Nithi Bridge. And I want to say that the problem is not resources. The resources are there. Money is there. We are being taxed, but again, we are losing lives. This is so unfortunate. And I think because director is here, that is what you should take a keen note on.
All right. Okay, the microphone this side, take it to the back. Yes, gentlemen, please hand over the microphone this side, go to the back. Yes, please. Please stand.
Hello, I'm Davis Juma. I'm a student from Kenyatta University to gain economics and finance. I'm also the founder of Voice of Change organization. And my view is, you just said that the previous year, almost 4,000 people died on the road by road accidents. That's nearly, like approximately around 13 deaths per day, right? Yeah. And in the previous maandamano, people were dying. No one was demonstrating on the roads because of the maandamano. I feel like, what if we try and sensitize this stuff and try and at least create awareness on the means of roads, because also majority of those people who are dying, they are youths, and youths were the country, and most of us are dying because you'll find that you are walking on the road, you have your earphones on, like it's a behavior that most of us usually have.
So it's you think it's
human behavior?
Human behavior.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get some few views here. Please take the mic to the back. Yes, the lady.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Mary Mbithe, as a third-year student at Kenyatta University. Now, there's something I've been waiting to hear, and I've not heard it. We're not talking about the role of the traffic police on our roads. Right now, what is happening on our roads is tax collection. I personally use matatus. That's what I use every day to travel. And whatever is happening in these matatus is just tragic. We use mbao, zinaitwa sambaza. You're seated, mmekaa mmeja, and then they put some stuff in between. And as we're traveling, we will be stopped by a police officer, or rather a traffic officer, who's supposed to check the matatu and if the rules are being followed. But that is not what happens. Conductor anatoka nje, wanasalimiana na anarudi. I think that is one of the things that is really causing a tragedy in our roads. What happened to the Michuki rules during the time of Kibaki? Yes, thank you so much.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
What would you like the police officer to do?
Come up again?
What would you like the police officer to do in that instance? Get into the vehicle.
Not really. It's a traffic officer, right?
Yeah.
What is their purpose on the roads?
What would you like him to do?
Okay,
What do
to
you mean like that?
enforce the rules. To enforce the rules. Like if the rules are being broken, then do what is supposed to be done. If the passengers are excess, do what is supposed to be done. That is your job. That is why you're on the road. That is why you're paid.
Before she sits, were you in that car that was full?
Yes, come up again.
Were you in that car that was full?
Yes, I have
Why?
been severally.
Why?
Yeah, because that is what you're for, and they've made it become a norm. You refuse, and they look at you like, I have refused severally, but sometimes you're in a hurry, and you're supposed to travel. You ask them questions, and they just have a way of responding to you. And as a normal mwananchi, what do I do? As a student, what do I do?
You see how they...
Okay, can you get some comments?
sense.
Yes, please bring the mic, come to the front. Let me get this side. Yes, please stand. And let the microphone travel to the front, please. Yes.
Yes. Hello, my name is Davis Ngugi Macharia, Kenya School of Law student. When I look at the two aspects, the human behavior and road users, I think there's a nexus, and the bigger picture is there's an aspect of recklessness, both in the design of the roads, from the way they are being built, all the way to how we are using our roads. As our previous commenter commented, when I'm late for work, I wouldn't mind to sit in an overloaded matatu, or when I'm in traffic, and I look outside the window and I see on the other side the traffic is halted, but on my side we are moving, I'll still be happy even though the driver is being reckless. So I feel like there is double standards, both from us as the citizens, because we are the ones who are allowing some of these things to take place. Yesterday I was in a matatu where, sorry, we were given a sambaza, but the pedestrians, the passengers refused to board it. They were bold and said, no, we want to go back to the 14-seater capacities. So there is an aspect of recklessness, and then we are calling that recklessness road accidents. But what we are actually doing is more of criminal negligence, and it should be taken very seriously.
Okay, great point. Yes, can you make your comment? You refused to the microphone. I hope you have a good point to make.
My name is Faith, and I want to subscribe to whatever she has said. I was privileged to be in Dubai for a period of 1 month, and I can tell you that the rule regulations are very strict in those countries. And, I get surprised because yearly when we get a budget, they always say that they have allocated a certain amount of money for the infrastructure. Let me just give out an example with town CBD. How many traffic lights are working out? You can't count, to be honest. You get it? And if you look at the other advanced countries, you find out that if you speed your car over 100 kilometers, instantly in Dubai, you get a message. The next minute, you should be in a police station to report the reason why you have. You get it? Another thing, I blame our police station, our police traffic officers, because there is relaxation between them and the drivers and also matatus conductors. There is that relation that, Nikki, when I overload the vehicle or when I overspeed and I give out handout, I'll be late.
Okay.
You get it? So I feel like we need to emphasize on the policies of the road.
All right, great. Yep.
Sam is my name, or Big Man Upbeat, a graduate architect and a private biker. I had noted down a few things, and I'll start by saying the roads are not the problem to begin with, because it's the same thing with money. Money ain't evil. It depends in whose hands it is. It's safe, At the end of the day, I blame all of us, but I'll start with the person who the buck stops with, the government. Let's start with this. The government feels this concept of the response vis-a-vis reaction. Today, if a boda rider hits someone, first of all, as private bikers, we were all bundled up as boda riders. Imagine you own a Ferrari and wewe unapewa the same rules with a matatu apply to you. That's how we are. But guess what? The government is so quick to react, but it never responds.
Yes.
Instead, if someone does something, you bundle everything, unafungia kila mtu, and then sasa unataka kuianza kuirudisha polepole. So my question is, should we respond or react? Two, sometimes it feels like we are always looking out for the light. When the expressway was built, to date, it's been years, to date, Wayakiwe, Kwanza pale Chiromo, I have a friend of mine, a lady biker, who almost lost her life because those potholes are crazy. And no one addresses it.
Right.
Year in, year out, there is a budget allocation to it. No one does anything towards the same. And lastly, I would say, as a graduate architect, I can comfortably say our road design has an issue. There is if you move from Nairobi to Mombasa to Kisumu, the bumps are not standard to begin with. And even what they are calling a standardized bump, it still doesn't work. So ultimately, the rubble strips and all those emergency response, like for example, our southern bypass, how many people died before they decided to remove those bumps that were erected at night with no, I don't think there was even any public participation. People just died and then everyone decided, oh no, we need to react, remove those things at night. Instead of public participation, engaging the designers, again, the engineers design bumps, they design the roads. I strongly believe that even architects should be involved. Because remember, there is a user design, but then there is also function and there is a function bit. So ultimately, how do we work around that? And lastly, our emergency response. Less than a week ago, I watched a biker die in front of me, like they breathed their last. We tried everything. First things first, the ambulance came there, arrived late. Two, the road design where we are talking about, first of all, their street, the lights, they are not functional. The matatu was overspeeding and it dragged a rider for 30 meters, akiwa chini ya gari. And all this because, one, there was no bump around that area, there was no street lights around that area, there were no cameras around that area. So even if they gang up and say, no, it was the rider who had an issue, and that's the issue. Everyone always, for some reason, blames the rider. So how else do we mitigate this? Because yes, we will talk about our response, we'll talk about the road design, but ultimately, how about our emergency response? Okay. Maybe I give a quick example.
Right.
There is this one of the NTSA's there is this car along the highways where if you're out of fuel, the Kenha, they will be quick to be there and sell you fuel twice the amount for the pump. But if there is an accident, there is no ambulance inside. Yeah.
All right. Please let the microphone come to the front. Let the microphone come to the front. I need it to, yes. Let's give to this gentleman. He had raised his hand from the beginning, please. We also have to make sense of these things. We've had all the issues and all the questions about the problems we have, and there are many and they're serious. But we seem to come to this conference that we've accepted that it's okay for people to die on the road. It's sort of an acceptable thing. We're not saying it, we are reacting instead of, as the gentleman said, responding. Is that, do you get the sense that that is where we are?
Now, first of all, my name is Daniel. I'm the CEO of Sikika Road Safety. And first and foremost, what is road safety? These are measures put into place to prevent serious injuries or deaths. Now, allow me just to tackle 3 important things before I forget, because they're really important. Number 1, let me tackle about the human error aspect, mechanical factor, and environmental factor. And to begin with, we as Sikika Road Safety, we've been here for the last 7 good years. What's our core business? It is to educate Kenyans on matters, road safety, and first aid and emergency response. So as we're speaking right now, we have 2 ambulances, which are helping victims of road accident across the country free of charge. There's some few things we've actually noticed. And number 1, let me start with human error. Like today we saw a lorry doing a reverse on a busy highway like Thika Road. And that driver is reversing on the speed lane. I just sat down. If you follow our page, you can attest to what I'm really saying right now. And you wonder, do you know what might happen if anything happens there? No, that now boils down now to human negligence, human behavior.
Shouldn't there be authorities to stop that kind of action? Because that's what the gentleman is saying, all right? That you make the mistake or you do that's an illegal turn. Shouldn't there be authority to stop that from happening so that we don't get to this massive blame game of all of us are essentially idiots and doing nonsense on the road?
And because the director is here and is a good friend of mine, now we have two agencies which have got power given to them by the law. Number one, it is NTSA, and number one, it is National Police Service.
Right.
I can tell you this for free. The reason why smart cards came into place, number one, was to, if you're a reckless driver, there are some points which were supposed to be deducted from your card.
Yes.
That's number one. And if you persist being a reckless driver, with time, that card it's going to be revoked and your license revoked. So number one, if NTSA and National Police Service are serious on the things that they are saying, drivers like this should not supposed to be on our roads. And I want to concur with the lady behind you who has just said, other developed countries, if you break the law, traffic rules, then there's a ticket you're given. Tomorrow, you appear in court and you are given heavy fines. That one can happen here. But what is preventing that from happening in our country? Simply polisi wanasikia ni kama wanatolewa nyama kwa mdomo. And that is a fact. We've talked about drunk driving. And I can tell you this as a fact. We as Kika Road Safety, the time we are responding to these accidents, I can tell you with facts, border riders are drunk, most of them. There are some things we respond. Mtu amevunjika mguu, amevunjika mkono. And this guy is drunk. He's on the bike. That is, we're talking about human error. Now let's talk about, the environmental factor. This which cannot be avoided. Things like, mudslide, a car tire burst. And there's something I really want to say. Two important things on that. Number one, you'll find people, their tires, they are worn out. But they go to that guy who normally regroove them. Zinapigwa laini zinarudi. And that is very dangerous because most of these accidents, when a tire, blows up, people don't know how to handle those vehicles to a stop. Number two, there are those tires which can be regrooved and there are those which can't be regrooved from the manufacturer. And the last one, we're talking about a mechanical factor. You'll find a trailer, a lorry on the highway with one headlight, like a motorcycle. So once now you're coming in to, pass each other, you realize, man, this is a truck banner with one eye, like a motorcycle.
Sir, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Considering you work in a space where you tend to see and witness, have you ever reported?
A lot. That's our work.
How do you report?
Number one, we have two things. I will call director here on a personal level. And number two, we post this on our social media handles. Currently, we have the biggest following in the country in terms of safety in this country.
How do you report of road negligence?
Number one, that's a very good question. Once we get the information, we verify the information, then we take it on air. Because our followers, they are across the country.
So you've never reported to the police?
Of course we do. The traffic-based commanders, they are our friends.
Okay.
A very good example is director here. If anything happens, of course I'll give him a call and tell him, sir, there's this and this which is happening. Like I said, these two bodies, NTSA and National Police Service, if they can work very closely to remove these rogue, reckless drivers on our highway, mark my words, and this is very much doable, by the way, we can be on a very space area. Like I was saying this, you'll find a vehicle does not have brakes. In the vehicle, it's on the road. Another something very important I want to tackle, because the director is here. You will find a matatu with an inspection sticker. You look at it and you wonder, okay, mulitoi sticker wapi inspection? In these vehicles, they are on our roads.
All right.
Yes.
Director, you have a lot to answer, as you might have noticed. Not to bear the bad news, but the question on responsibility of government, and especially the Just Man's point, the reaction as opposed to response is such a big thing, and we see it all the time, all right? There is drunk driving, you erect alcohol laws for 2 weeks, then disappear, right? There's question about people driving when they're tired, NTSA shows up and does a reaction, essentially for media, and we cover you very well for 2 weeks. Then after that, nothing happens. It's a consistent theme. What do you have to say for yourself?
Well, yeah, those are your observations.
They are facts.
Yes,
they are facts.
No,
I can pull. And, are you challenging me for facts?
I think maybe you give me time. You give me time to say that.
I was happy to go on record.
The government strategy is comprehensive, and if you allow me, is that it's guided. It's guided. We don't just do things. And when it comes to road safety, that's the guiding strategy now is the National Road Safety Action Plan, which encompasses all these issues because it tries to attack the human behavior. It tries to attack the issue of design. It tries to do this. So, so if you, I'll agree that yeah, it's design is an issue, and I've said that if you look progressively, I mean, at what is happening, there is progress, because if you look at new roads happening at the moment, or the roads being built, and I can give an example of this road from Mombasa going to Malindi, you'll realize that it's a better road because it includes pedestrian facilities, for example, something that you'll not see in all roads. And what I'm trying to say here is that there is that progressive, inclusion of some of these things that have been wanting in previous roads. But then, I think what is coming out here very strongly is the issue of the human error. And this is something that is actually, if you look at most of the crashes, it's big on these ones. That this the starting point, that somebody is speeding, for example, and because of speeding, and then the contribution of roads and all that, then it causes a crash. Somebody is tired. Somebody is possibly tired. Somebody is, if you look at pedestrians, because we are losing many of those ones, where they walk, how they walk. So this becomes...
But there's no walk path. Can I put it to you that the problem we have, and this is factual, let's go to Meshoki rules, all right? There were all those factors then, all right? There were no walk paths. The people still had the human, the matatus were overloading vehicles. There were all these problems. But there was a government response. And this is what I'm asking for you, not the government reaction, the government response that is methodical, that is on the law, and that actually works over a long period of time. Could you just give me one? Not 20, one. That says, last year, we had 3,324 deaths, all right? And because of this one government response, this year, we have 2,000. That's the one.
Thanks, James. And I think, we can use figures, for example. Now, looking at the legal environment, we have a very clear law on PSVs. That's PSV regulations of 2014. If you look at statistics, what has reduced is crashes, or rather the losses involving PSVs. It may not be big, but from our statistics up to 10th of August, we've seen it's lower by about 35 as compared to last year. What is the reason for this? The reason for this is that there has been
enforcement of these laws, both on the end of the police and also quite a lot from NTSA. How does NTSA do this? Is through invoking of the issues of speed, because the issues of speed limits, the issues of compliance for drivers. We have quite a lot of cases of drivers who have lost their driving license. Why? Because of these violations. And what has enabled this is because the law is very clear on what needs to be done. And if you speak to the sector, they'll tell you that it appears like we are focusing more on public service vehicles as opposed to other road users. And the reason why there is this observation is that the law is quite clear, quite explicit. Where do we have challenges in law? We have challenges in law in areas like, for example, drunk driving. You remember what happened with alcohol and going to court, but as we speak, that particular law, which is quite clear, is the last regulatory impact assessment has been done, and we are hoping that it will come out soon. The issue of school transport, for example, we've had issues last year, even this year, involving school transport. Why is it so? Because the legal frameworks for the same is not very clear, and that's why the authority has also a law that is coming out to be able to strengthen, so that when there is enforcement, it's quite clear on what needs to be done. So if you look again at the statistics, like we've clearly put here, we talk about pedestrians, we talk about motorcyclists leading in terms of pedestrians, about 70%. Why is this the case? Yeah, it's because the framework for enforcing this has been weak. And what is the government doing about this? Previously, and I've said this, is that it needs pedestrians and motorcyclists are local, meaning that they are a pedestrian will walk from point A to point B within a locality. A motorbike or a biker will be carrying a person from one point to the other one. So how do we approach this? Collaboration with the counties, people who are managing these towns. And how far have we gone in that? Is that now we have structures within the counties operational, and already we've seen fruits in some places like Kericho, for example, whereby we've experienced reduction in fatalities. We still have a problem in Nairobi, for example, because it's, if you look at the statistics, it's leading. What are we doing about it? Today, these evenings, we were engaging with borders, training them on as fast responders, so that then we can be able to do this. And that is just one about that. Because
I've always wondered this, Director, you've spoken a lot, and I want you to, sort of come to a clarity and conclusion. So let me help you. Two questions. One, I've always wondered why borders don't follow the traffic rules. Are they exempted so that they can, I've always wondered that. Could you just explain to me why that happens? Clearly, just simple answer.
They are not exempted, and there is actually a law that guides how, border or rather motorcyclists operate. It's very clear.
So why do they do this? Why is it acceptable for them to do this?
It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. And that's why, like I was giving you strategies that the government is doing.
I'm happy with the strategy, Director. But my final question for you, as the Director of Road Safety and TSA, do you feel you've done the absolute best that this year, if we have this conversation in December, the number of deaths will not rival the number of deaths last year? Do you honestly feel all the strategies, everything you've said, that you've done your ultimate best and the response is going to work?
Now, Smart.
It's a simple question.
No. It's not as simple as you're putting. Yeah, because if it was that simple, it would have. So it's a whole process. Working with so many people, and we believe that we are on course.
All right.
We believe we are in course, and definitely we should be able to see this reducing, working together with the many agencies that we are doing, including even Sikika, that they are actually playing a very big role on that.
I take the point. And I agree. It's not an NTSA issue, it's a whole collaborative issue. I take the point.
Yeah. I think this whole conversation would actually find base on the stance that we have as a country towards road crashes and having zero tolerance for deaths, fatalities on our roads. Why? It's possible. Sweden, for example, has the Vision Zero principle and moved towards a framework for their transport system that, you know, is based on the intention to have absolutely zero deaths on the roads, such that made room from the design to everything of their roads, and I'm sure you probably know about this, that creates room even for human error, so that we shift that responsibility from individuals to the system of our transport system, essentially. You know, for example, if you have a place that, you know, there's a 2-lane road and is perhaps notorious for having drunk drivers, that you design it to force it to be a single lane, and you're going to have to wait for each other and follow each other. There's no room for overtaking, those kind of things. And I know there's an engineering aspect of it that you've spoken about. And what will this take? It will take, of course, investment. It's about how we design our roads right from the start to the end. It's about how we do the enforcement. There's been a lot of conversation tonight, even around enforcement. You know, people tend to not want to be caught in the wrong, especially when if being caught in the wrong means that there's very tough punitive actions. There's a time, you know, when the speed guns just came up, and I remember, I think most of us felt it, that you know where you'd go for at a 120 km/h speed and you have to go at 80. People actually followed this because there was all those, you know, first the inconvenience of being stopped and you have to do a whole court system there, and that there's a way to go about it as well. I don't know who oversights the enforcers, you know, who oversights the people who are supposed to be oversighting, because then if we actually have the rules but they're not working for us, then it goes around to making it work. And I'm sure there's a place where the buck stops. So there's just that stance that we need to decide people cannot die on the roads, because road crashes are not, they're preventable, right? As you had rightfully said.
I think just to make the point that it's really a political leadership issue, all right? And we have the example Sweden is fantastic. It's a political leadership issue. Mishuki here made it a point and it worked within 3 weeks. So it's a political leadership issue. So we can talk about many coordination and many strategies, but this reflects on the quality of leadership, if you like, that we have in the country for a period of time.
No. I miss Mishuki a lot.
It's heavy.
From the environment to roads.
We're coming back there, don't worry, we're coming back.
I think for me, I hear you when you say, again, it's like you have, to some extent, your hands are tied, because it's a big industry and there's so much to do. But so for me, I'm like, it's so easy to actually pinpoint the people that are actually killing people on the road and separate them from people who are willing to learn on how to stay safe on the road. I feel like anyone here who knows how to report when you see a road indecency, let me call it indecency because it can be anything. Anyone who knows how to report? Is there a hotline? I'll give you, is there a hotline, yes or no?
Like if you see a reckless driver.
Like if I see a reckless driver as a citizen, what am I supposed to do?
Yes, there is how you can share that information with us.
Okay, so you see, you're dealing with a population that equally is not aware of what I'm supposed to do. Because we sit in these matatus and you're also looking at the traffic police are mediocre on the road, meaning this traffic will stay here for an hour. I possibly do not have a space to stand on the road and wait for public transport. I get into a kind, we are overspeeding, and I have a child and we have this board that they put for you. So I'm sitting on a board. Like I feel like to some extent, citizens are equally pushed to be in such risky situations and then not have somewhere or someone to look up on the citizens. So at the end of the day, I feel like when you request for support, and as we do understand the challenge that NTSA has, citizens don't have access to what is better driving in Kenya. It's ridiculous. Do you, one question, then I personally am done. I've been a victim of road accidents 3 times, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, in a school bus, and as an adult. Like, I got so tired. I actually prefer bikes to some extent than actual matatus. So, do you feel safe driving in Kenyan roads yourself?
Yeah. We said that in as much as we have government and all this, it's not, you see, let's not simplify it.
Yeah.
Let's not simplify it, and I like how we are facing it, because it's coming out here that I have also a bigger responsibility, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that then how safe I'll feel depends on how I behave while operating my vehicle, while being a pedestrian and all that. So that then, if all of us behave well, because the road is shared. Many road users, sometimes you don't have
what do you personally see?
That we need to really, concretize this issue, that it starts with me, okay, that safety. Because like what is coming here, when I'm in a matatu, it's true that there are challenges, but then and I've done it because I use public means most of the times, that you stop a matatu, I do, you stop a matatu, you look inside, and you realize it's full. It's stopping for you to get in, but you realize it's full. Then you have a choice whether to go in or to say, no, thank you, you move.
Yeah.
And if you say, no, thank you, then it's not just for you, but you're passing some message, because this guy will know that it was full. I wanted to take another one, but they refused. If it's a question of driving, again, you are driving on the road. How do you drive? Are you posing a risk to other users? Because again, we've seen many times how people somebody comes, maybe gets into your lane. So the point I'm raising is that how safe I feel is, to a large extent, how I behave in the road, and now how other people behave. Because
so are you safe?
It's dependent on how I drive.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. So
and how other people behave.
Okay.
Yes.
Can we get maybe the final 2 comments before we wind this down? Let's get this gentleman, and then someone else who's not spoken. Please hand it to the back. Yes.
Bwana Director, I belong to a group called Thika Road Nyumba Kumi, and every Thursday we do something called Masomo Thursday. So Masomo Thursday is all about safety. Okay, we teach our riders every Thursday on how to get better on riding. So I also believe that if maybe you can, as NTSA, can also come up with programs on how to teach bodabodas how to be safe. Like us, we're always very careful wearing our helmets, our jackets, boots. We always do that.
This is their helmet.
Yeah, so, and not only a helmet, but a certified one. Okay? So we don't joke around with safety on our side. That is including you as a person and also your bike. So, because your bike also needs to be performing at its best. So, if NTSA can actually be doing programs to teach people and refresh people on how to be safe on the road, I think that also would do.
The director has taken that on board. Yes, can hand the mic through you wanted to say something very quickly? Yes.
Smart. Before, we are not here to, pinpoint, or we're just here to find solutions. Now, passing information to millions of Kenyans, it's very expensive. Even to some point, I'm going also to blame the media. Because normally talk about road safety when there's a major road accident which has happened in the country, but back to school, we don't talk about it. Easter, we don't talk about road safety, but we talk about road safety on December's. When the president was launching national action plan at KCC, I was there. And the president said this, he will support road safety. Till today, we've not seen finances on road safety. Agencies like Kena, agencies like Kura, agencies like Kera, and NTSA, they have a budget on road safety. Like I've said, passing information, it's very expensive.
Yeah.
If media can come on board, if these agencies can support bikers here, people who are advocating for road safety, mark my words, we're going to be on the right direction. And I can tell you this for a free. We as Kika, we're not in government, no. But we also get challenges responding to victims of road accident. Because the first respondent, they are border riders and pedestrians. And I can tell you this for a fact. They don't have basic on first aid.
Yep.
And for the longest time, we're not educating them. When you see someone who has been involved in a road accident, for you to save the life of that person, use the following steps. 1, 2, and passing this information, it's also expensive. And funds are needed to be open.
All right.
Yes.
Pass the microphone to the back. Yes.
And a patriotic Kenyan, I'm volunteering myself to help you people share the information. So if you can bring young people on board, teach them on which information is needed at the grassroots level. We are willing to help you communicate that information.
Okay. Have you spoken? Okay.
My name is Careless, youth leader from Kandara constituency, Muranga, and I'm also a stakeholder in transport business. Director over here has mentioned about laws, and not once, not twice, he has mentioned about laws that are there. But the big question is, what is the enforcing behind the laws that you've mentioned? Because laws alone don't change behavior. Education and enforcement do. So that is a big disparity. I'm also disturbed by the fact that we are using reports from NTSA and the police. How do we expect the government to give us the real reasons or causes of road menace? It's like giving me an exam, and they expect me to give myself 0, even if I was meant to fail. I'll give myself a 90%.
Right.
So I wish we were also relying on independent figures, because, as I said, Wayakiwe has no designated areas for pedestrians and crossing points.
Okay.
Cabanas, Outer Ring Road, all the way from Cabanas to Allsops.
Okay.
There isn't a single bus stop on that road.
All right.
To add to it, it is pitch dark. Same to Eastern Bypass, where I'm also from, Kandara, Kagondoini to Kabati Road. It's pitch dark.
Okay,
no street lights.
Two final quick comments. The gentleman, there's a lady. Give the lady at the back. Yes.
My name is Boniface Mlinga.
Could you put the microphone just a bit closer to your mouth?
Hello, my name is Boniface Mlinga, and I wanted to say that statistically, Kenya loses approximately 450 billion because of road accidents.
Again?
450 billion annually due to road accidents.
Right.
Monies that can be put into great use, especially in our crumbling sectors like health, education, and even allocate some for budgeted corruption. Because that is our norm. Anyway, away from the numbers, every life lost is a story cut short. We need to take care of ourselves, guys. Thank you.
He's also a poet. The lady, please. Yes, as we wind down, yes.
Good evening. My name is Mary Hera. I'm a student at Mount Kenya University, and I've heard everything you guys have said. But the biggest question that I have is there a balance that can be struck between investigating in roads and expanding alternative transports? I'm just asking if we maybe expand our railway system or the water transport, will the accidents reduce? This is just a question for all of us. If there are other better means of transport, because the other day we were organizing for a trip with someone, and they were like, because we are traveling as a family, let's not use the road, we'd rather use SGR. Why? Because of an ideology that SGR is safer than the roads. So I'm just asking, it's a food for thought. If there are other alternatives rather than the roads, would the accidents reduce? Yeah, thank you.
All right. So this is a problem that happens all the time. It's a show safety, that then the show has to end. Yes, at some point, very quickly. Okay, if you promise 30 seconds, okay, maybe I can get from the director. Okay, so he stood, and the lady. Okay, please.
Yes, hello everyone. I'm George Ajambo Ouma from Busia County, Samia Sub-County, and my take in this is that both the design, the users, and the third party, now the government, no one of the three can carry the whole cross alone. Everyone has a share in terms when it comes to reducing the innumerable accidents that we've been witnessing. For the design case, you know, there's a reason why in Mwingi there's several incidences of accidents in Mwingi and not any other bridge. There's a reason why there's accidents in Nithi Bridge and not any other bridge. You know, and also the government. Why is not the government responsive to this? To what my brother said, the potholes that have been there for months. So my take is that everyone collectively we are entitled to reduce this accident. Thank you.
Right. Lady, please say something interesting to take us home so that everyone else keeps quiet. No pressure.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Faith Kwamboka. I'm a med student in Kenyatta University. So in all this, we can see that to some extent, the human behavior plays a really big role in this, in the sense that if the roads are perfectly designed and we have human beings behaving recklessly on the roads, they'll still lead to road accidents, even if the roads are perfectly designed. And that's my parting shot.
Well. Great people. We can stay here up to tomorrow, I guarantee you, all right? But allow us to end here. But I think three things that have come out here. One, there is a huge failure of the police, who essentially have put tolls on the road as an extraction point. That's a big problem that we need to resolve. The second most obviously, failure of government, and specifically the engineers who designed roads and decide the roads that we use. They're the professionals, really. We don't know anything other than the roads that they've designed. So whether there's the bumps and, you know, how standardize them, you know, the corners, the bridges, and all these things. This is a decision engineers have deliberately taken, and they're professionals. They have to be held into account. And I think the final thing that I've had is our design and our need for elitist solution, which is basically rapid highways that don't build into account anything else, other forms of transportation. As Lady said, trains, for instance, or building, you know, roads or pathways for citizens to walk, that we build roads, rapid highways for vehicles. And we are actually less motorized public than we'd like to think.
Right. I know Eric will be giving us the last word. I'm also for, let's bring back harsh punishments for those who put their own lives and the lives of other Kenyans at risk, you know? Whatever those rules that you're flaunting are, overspeeding, drunk driving, there's a place for withdrawing driving licenses. It happens elsewhere. Why can it not happen here? We need to deter those deaths that are caused by carelessness as much as possible, because only then shall we have people thinking that, you know, consequences, actions have consequences. And also there's a place for using the circles. Ndolo spoke about how much more can we do to spread information. Like in the public service industry, public transport rather industry, we have the circles. Can we have them post, you know, numbers where you can report a driver if they're driving recklessly, overtaking, you know, filling the cars and all that, so that there's more ways and channels for reporting this kind of things. Yeah.
You know, everything that we've said tonight, heading towards that question, the cause of road crashes in this country, where do we place the blame? Do we blame road design, or do we blame user behavior, reckless driving? Now, if you just look at the statistics of what we've seen, over 11,000 road crashes reported annually, according to the NTSA. And NTSA statistics just showing us just the first quarter of this year alone, there were 5,856 people involved in crashes. And out of those, we had 1,139 fatalities. 420 of them were pedestrians. Then 301 were motorcyclists, 189 passengers, 83 drivers, pillion passengers 130, and pedal cyclists 16. That's just the first 3 months of 2025. It tells you that we are dealing with combined factors here. A factor of the road user and the reckless behavior of the drivers. But then there's also the factor of the pedestrians who are caught up by the reckless driving of the drivers, which brings in the aspect of road design. So if we treat those, we can see that driver behavior, we can call it the spark, but then we can say that road design is the fuel that leads into this. So our last thought tonight is that if we address those at the same time, we address the designs constantly, and we also come up with campaigns to address road behavior of users. And I'm deliberately using the word users here because there are drivers, there will be those cyclists, there will be mkokoteni pushers, there will be pedestrians, all of them. If we had campaigns that address this, we would reduce from the 4,000 deaths a year to something better. And our last word tonight is it's both road users and design. Shall we conclude it there? Yes. That is the last word, as good as any. So we can just end it there and say, do you agree, do you not agree? Does anyone change their mind? Yeah. Green for design, red for road user. Green for design, red for road user. Green for design, red for road user. As we conclude, we have more and more design, fewer and fewer road users. It appears that the issue has changed. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. That has been the last word. We'd like to give a special thanks to the Director of Road Safety at NTSA, plus everybody else who's come to join us. Asante.
This is The Last Word.